Aaron Wilson, who does an excellent job there in Houston, covering the Texans, covering the NFL. He breaks all kinds of stories and does a great job coming up with a lot of contract information and shit like that. He was at a football event, a charity event type place, and Tyreek Hill was there having some fun. And so they approached Tyreek. He approached Tyreek about his contract situation. And Aaron was smart the way he phrased the question, because he was talking about how, the market's changed overall and how the landscape, how guys are getting paid. And, like his deal now is not as prominent as it was. And so, then Tyreek goes to enlighten or elaborate a little bit more on the overall situation and his situation. Sean, please, let's bring up that soundbite and let's hear from Tyreek Hill.
Very good. The wide receiver market, continues to skyrocket. You're the trendsetter, and now a lot of these guys are all getting new deals. This is cool for the receivers.
Yeah, it is, man. I'm very excited to just be a part of the old wave, which was what, $30 million, and Justin Jefferson came and surpassed that, man. So very proud of those guys. Happy for obviously my teammate Waddle, getting his new deal. For guys like me, that's great. I'm 30 years old, also looking for a new deal. So very, very excited to see where, I fit in to like that category.
Right.
Very excited to see where he fits in that category. I am too. I'm going to be very excited to see how they handle this. I mean, I think there's really only one way to handle it. But I think you can also mishandle it, and by extending him. Now, giving him some guarantees for this year, why not? Want to give him some extra? Okay. But committing long-term to a 30-year-old receiver, and be careful, because he might get old on you this year. You never know when it's going to happen, folks. You just don't know. Look, you got the Democratic Party freaking out about Biden. Go watch Biden talk 4 years ago and 8 years ago. Those videos are all around. And then you watch the guy now, and you watch him 4 years ago, and you watch him 8 years ago, and it's night and day. He got old. We all get old. We're all headed there. Every one of us is headed there. But you don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know the day it's going to be that I'm not going to have the energy to do this every day. And bring energy every day, and bring enthusiasm, and bring emotion, whether I'm mad or I'm happy or whatever it is. There's going to be a day where I'm not going to have that energy. There's going to be a day where I'm not going to have that fire. There's going to be a day where I'm not seeing it the way I should. It's going to happen. Happens to all of us. Father time is undefeated. You all have heard it 1,000 times. But you don't know when Father time knocks. You just don't know when it's your last couple days, last couple months, last year on this beat, that beat, working as a teacher, working as a politician, or working in broadcasting, as an athlete, whatever it is. You don't know when it comes. But there will be a moment that you will not be as good as you used to be. There will be a moment that you can't do the job the way you used to. But for athletes, oh my God, for the rest of us and a lot of other things, it's kind of a slow thing, and it allows us to ease out of it. For athletes, it's boom, bam. It's a crash. And they can't control it. And the second it crashes, and they can't run, and they can't block, and they can't throw, and they can't catch, and they can't shoot, whatever it is that they do in sports. But all of a sudden, they no longer can throw the ball the way they used to. They no longer can react to whatever they used to react to defensively, blocking, whatever it is. You just don't know. But I do know this. When you hit that 30, that's not a good age for wide receivers. And where in your right mind does it tell you to extend a wide receiver in his 30s? And one of the things that they've done a good job of is that they get off the gravy train overall before it gets really bad. Tyreek may be enthused and excited about where he stands, but if you're Chris Greer and company, this isn't a long-term thing anymore. After this season, you have to make a tough decision. It actually becomes an easy decision because Father Time is undefeated. And once you get to your 30s, it's not a good thing for a wide receiver. More often than not. So, do what you need to do. You got to give him a couple extra bucks for this year. You got a couple of extra bucks, then do it. After you've solved the Tua contract, you'll have a couple of extra bucks in the room there that you could get the Holland deal done and give him a couple extra dollars. Go ahead. But then you need to part ways. Because if you extend him, you will then start doing something like the Miami Heat. You are now hanging on to a player and paying him what he's not worth anymore. And the scariest thing would be is that you agree to some kind of an extension now, and he gets old on you right on this season. And then what? Plus all the other stuff off the field. So I'll continue to say it over and over and over and over and over again. Just like I said to trade X after the 10 interceptions, and they didn't, and I was right. And I'll be right again here on this one. Just like I was right about Jimmy Butler. You should have traded him last year. You need to part ways with Tyreek next year, no matter what. Because receivers don't get better when they get older. And your cap situation is certainly going to get a lot worse if you tie yourself down to a 30-plus-year-old wide receiver. It's up to you.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.